baseballs. Yes, I'm actually going to make this used baseball that I got at, I think, a flea market into Americana decor. You definitely see these a lot around this time of year at flea markets and garage sales and yard sales. So between stars and stripes, we're going to get this painted up. So I'm going to take one of them, and I did a few different stars to have a variation. I just cut them out of my Cricut. I thought about like you can buy stickers from the Dollar Tree and stuff like that that are starred. I wasn't sold on them if they would stick to the material. I knew that I should have good luck with my Cricut stencil. It always sounds good though. So just random. Just put different sizes on there. Always want to do extra because that one folded itself on it's folded over on itself. That way I should be able just to paint right over the stencil. So then I cut out some strips. Wasn't sure how long I needed them to be with the extra vinyl. So then I am just going to do this. I'm only going to paint up to the binding. So I tried to guesstimate, each size. That one's just there for spacing. They may not be all the same size, but you get the gist of what I'm doing here. We're just making stars and stripes. Sometimes you got to talk to it nicely because it's curved. It doesn't have to be precise. Then I'll just work all the way down until I get it all covered. So I did some with stripes and then some with just all stars because I have 4. That's what I found. I'm going to be doing DIY's Carnival Red and then DIY's Bohemian Blue for the colors. And then I'm just going to try to stay on the, where the stitching is. Because the stitching is already red. Now, if you're really good, you can paint in freehand. I'm not trusting myself. Some people are. I use DIY plate. 1, easy cleanup, and 2, I can dry it with the heat gun. And then the stripes, same thing. I'm just going to try to stay at that binding, the stitching. Okay, time to take our pieces off. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nice thing about DIY paint, it's, you know, when you're going around that round object, you can kind of just scrape that off if it went underneath, because I knew it wasn't going to be completely tight. Oh, how fun. Don't worry about the blue yet. Once we seal it in, it'll be darker. You just kind of use what paint you can find and what blue or whatever the color is that you want. So I'm going to use some weather defense to seal in the DIY paint. So I got this lot that had all these pieces and parts that I don't know what, but they all coordinate. Kind of fun. I love how they all kind of tier, you know. Though I think if I could make one of these higher, it would be cute, maybe. I was seeing, thrifted some of these little pieces. If I could attach them. That one might be a little big. So I got one for there, one for there. So I just went into our scrap bins and kind of checked out what we had. Then I cut little squares just to kind of, okay, so we have, they don't have to be, I just like that, you know, some of them were already on these bases. I thought that kind of made them neat. I might go and cut that one down a little bit. So now I have it more that they're like this, even though that's probably not the way somebody's going to put them. Tight bond. Which one do I want to be at the bottom? Doesn't have to be perfect because we're looking at salvaged here. These two have a hole, so I'm just going to fill it up with some of the wood air dry clay by Dawes. It's paintable. I should fill it in there. DIY's White Swan. So I'm going to cover up that new wood. I think that'll be a close. Of course I don't know. I think it will be. I'm going to just paint these white now. I'm not sure how everyone's going to end up as I add the red and the blue, but at least we're starting off with the same. Okay, got it sanded. That looks like it's always been there. The question mark. I'm going to seal it in. Some weather defense. Gotta seal your, that way I can, when I get paint along, if I end up painting it a color, it's sealed in. Cricketed out some stars. So I'm going to put a few. I have to find like flat spaces. Better that to have too many than not enough, right? If you have a scrap pile, this would be a perfect for all those pieces and parts that you might have laying around. Just want to make them all matching. I could do some lines. I have some of this. Because I know I would not be good. I would not stay straight, and my hand's not that steady. I've got stars, stripes, flat spots, so we're just going to randomly start painting. DIY Carnival Red, Bohemian DIY Bohemian Blue. Nice thing about salvage is you don't have to make it look perfect. And it's DIY paint, so if you get where you don't want, you can hopefully wipe it off. I just wanted spacing. Like I said, if you're better than I am just to hand paint them on, then go for it. But I just know mine would be so wonky. Make sure they're dry. I only did one coat. We're not looking for this like pristine paint job. So I'm going to start taking my stickers off. Stencil, vinyl, whichever you want to call it. Okay, now I want to get everything sealed in before doing any sanding and distressing because I don't want to smear the DIY paint. So I want to distress them a little bit more. I didn't want to do that with the DIY paint until, well, let me figure out which one won't take so much off. Maybe some steel wool. Yeah, we'll just do some steel wool. It seemed to be a little heavy. Just some fine grit steel wool, smooth them out. Could leave them as white as what these are, but I'm looking for a little bit more detailed. Some of the Pentar antiquing paste. And I'm going to go in like the areas where the details are. I didn't know if I needed my eraser of clear or not, but this will just kind of blend. Just blend, distress, blend, age. See, it just gives a little bit more age to it. I have a rusty, crusty lunch pail. And it's actually unique because it doesn't open up. It does, but it opens up like that. that. And, you know, rusty, crusty, as much as I like it and other people like it, to resell it, it just doesn't. It doesn't. The strap is broken, so I think I'm going to go ahead and try to remove the rest of that. I think that's so cool. It does have the original thermos, which I'm just going to set off to the side. And we're actually going to paint this up and do a little decoupage on it. So I'm going to start by sealing this in with Extra Bond, using it as a primer to help my paint to stick. I like the texture of the rust, so I'm not really going to sand too much on it since I'm going to put some decoupage paper on here. I'm going to take a heat gun, help the Extra Bond dry. To paint the lunchbox, I'm going to be using Red Wagon by Sweet Pickens, so we are looking for some age and chippiness, hopefully. So Sweet Pickens is a dry powder paint, as you see, and you mix it with water, depending on the directions say equal parts, but depending on what you want to achieve, you can mix it up thinner, you can mix it up thicker for the one coat, or thinner where you do multiple coats. You just do you. After you played with it for a while, you'll kind of figure out what it needs to. But either way, do stir it for about 2 minutes, sit it off the side, let it thicken up. You might have to add some water if you want a thicker paint after it's set, because like here right now, you know, it's pretty thick and you're not going to be able to paint with that very easily. Painting, I took the two pieces apart that way. I didn't paint them together, but I'm going to start off painting my bottom. So I can get that dry and be able to do the rest of it. Up it along with the heat gun. Just enough to dry like the first layer and then set it off to the side. It really does like to dry on its own. But on the sides, I'm going to use some Sweet Pickens beeswax. Wherever I put the beeswax should prevent the paint from sticking. So I'm just going to, whatever I hit is what I hit. That doesn't stay up. Okay, now I'm gonna believe this was my front area that I'm going to put some decoupage on, so I don't want to wax that necessarily. Oh, look at that. That is amazing. So I'm not really going to do too much to it quite yet. Look at the side. The side did good too. So I'm going to seal that in with some weather defense because I'm going to actually put I printed this out from Holler Park Primitive on Etsy. So it's a printable download after you purchase it. They are minimal, y'all. The nice thing about it is once you've downloaded it, it's yours to use and it's always there. You don't have to buy it each time. But I was looking for flags. Now I know this one, I believe, is longer than I needed it to be. Not by too much, because I'm going to do the burn technique to age it. So I'm going to cut a little bit of that tail part off there. But I want to make it a little bit thicker of a label. So I'm going to put decoupage it onto copier paper. That's all I printed this out with. I'm using Fusion's transfer gel. I do have an Epson inkjet printer that I had purchased. So that's what I printed out, just regular Amazon copier paper that you can buy in bulk because I use a lot of copier paper. Just going to attach that. Wipe out my mess. Cut that. Leave a little bit of the lip of the white because we're going to burn the edges. And my little cup of water, to distinguish the flame. But it doesn't burn into where the transfer gel is because it is wet. And I kind of just let it kind of do its own little thing. So it looks like it's been worn with time. Okay, now we're going to take some more of that transfer gel. Generous amount. Because we're going to be attaching it to the lunchbox now. At first I thought I was just going to go down here, but I think I'm going to just kind of center it since it's not something that's going to be open and closed. Use a brayer to kind of help make sure that it's down there. There's a seam, so I want to make sure I'm running it on that seam so that it doesn't leave an air pocket. It reminds me of an old barn that somebody would have painted a flag on. I'm going to seal my label in with some weather defense. The paint took way better than I thought it was going to, but I'm going to take the sander to it because I want some chippiness, hopefully where I put the wax. So now I have some oil wax in the dark. Shake it up, settle to the bottom. I'm going to pour it out into a bowl. Take a little stencil brush because I've got a lot of detail. I'm going to go right over everything. It'll be fine. It always looks dark, but it's not as dark as you think it is. But we sealed in the paper. Anywhere the paper distressed, it'll hopefully take on the dark oil. Give it about 10 minutes and we'll wipe off the excess. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wipe off what didn't absorb in. I am going in, just dipping my brush into that dark oil, into some decrepit dust. And then just kind of running it on the lines of the image. There again, just trying to make it look like it's worn off with time. Some things you never know if they're going to work or not, but I have some cheesecloth that I grunge dyed with coffee and cinnamon and nutmeg and all that yummy stuff that makes it smell really good. Since I had to cut that off. Seem a waste just to not have anything up there, right? Bucket old rusty rusty stars. No, unfortunately that'll be way too heavy. But I have some of these, like I'll take them off of Reese when I thrift, like you can thrift Reese that have them on, so it's nice to have that little wire there. So I'll play a little bit and see what looks good. So I forgot to turn the camera on. So I'm just adding, I get dried baby's breath off of Amazon. I just felt like it needed some lightness to go with the stripes. So just kept on adding until I was happy with it. That's just how that goes. Little bitty pieces, hot glue gun. I did glue the stars down. Add a little star to the bottom. It's a cute little box, and I bought it. It was already painted red. Hello, perfect. There we go. So I printed this image off from Holler Part Primitive on Etsy. It's a printable download that you purchase, and I like that. Since this is already red, I don't need it to be. It was made to be like a poster size. I don't know who has that printer, but what I'm going to do is just kind of cut it off to fill my needs. So just kind of marking where I need to cut it down at. So there's the image. We got some decoupage transfer gel by Fusion. Gonna put some on there. Copier paper. Go ahead and attach it to that paper. Another piece of copier paper. Clean up my mess. Off some of the excess to extinguish flame, and then a lighter. So it won't burn into where the paper is wet from the transfer gel. Okay, now while it's still wet, I'm going to put some more decoupage transfer gel on it. Now we're doing two sheets now, so just make sure that it's on there. Then we have to wait and let it dry before we can finish it up. I'm going to seal this label in with some weather defense. Oh, I think that turned out so good. The red matches. You know, that's not an easy task sometimes. So now I'm going to take some Fusion's aging wax around the outside. Some DIY decrepit dust. We sealed our image in, so we're good. I'm just going to age it just a little bit. And if I did that, then I need to do the rest of the box. Then I always like to give it one more spray. Make sure that's not going to come off. And we'll probably fill this up with something. Good old Spanish moss. Cover that up. Have these thrifted red geraniums. Let's see what they look like. Gonna get a few of the stems in there, but I don't want them to overpower.